Hi, pool people. I can't believe we're already back and it's another week of Valley Pool lessons. And it is hot out here. Who's going to be some of my viewers today? Let's see. We'll start here in a little bit. Hi, Brenda. Today's lesson, guys, is going to be about how to test your pool water at home. I'm going to give you a couple examples of different ways to test your water. Hi, Steven. We're going to go through the drops, the test strips, what everything means, and then how to tell what you should be adding to your pool and what you shouldn't be adding to your pool. You're just going to be full of information today. And I am without a camera person and I can't find my selfie stick. So today is going to be an awesome lesson. Let me just tell you. All right. We're getting a couple more viewers in here. I'm just going to wait a second. Patty! I know. You know what? If you wouldn't have told me in the comments that's what you wanted to learn, I wasn't going to do that today. But since you asked, that's what I'm going to do. And my husband found my selfie stick. So I don't have to hold this. So just bear with me here. Well, welcome, Patty. I'm glad that you found us. All right, guys, if you see up my nose, I do apologize. I got to put you in this selfie stick thing. Oh, man. Oh, man. Hi, Chris. Oh, so much better. Okay. All right, today's lesson is going to be about testing your pool water at home. As always, you can bring your water in whenever you want to Valley Pool and Spa, and we'll test it for free. But if you want to test it at home just to see if everything's okay, maybe before a party or, we just had a bad storm or something like that, you can always test it at home and see if it's really off or not. Oh, Dana Superstar's here. Hi, Dana. Hi, Stephanie. Make sure you invite all of your friends to watch this one because it's going to be a good one. I'm going to try not to just, spit knowledge at you guys in a rapid pace, but you will get a lot of, in education in this lesson. So, all right, let's get started here. Today's Valley Pool and Spa lesson is going to be how to test your pool. If you are just joining us, welcome to our pool lesson of the week. If you have not seen our pool lessons before, they're all on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, so you can catch up, see if there's anything that you want to learn. For all of you Valley Pool and Spa shoppers, don't forget, this is the last 3 days. The sale ends on Saturday. It's the Christmas in July Customer Appreciation Sale. That's a mouthful, but it ends on July 31st. And if you stop in the store, you get freebies. You also get to enter into the raffles, which we have huge baskets and prizes. I know a lot of you are obsessed with that motorized float that you can move around the pool like a bumper car. That is one of the prizes. Rebecca says she always struggles with reading the strips. Yes. So let's get into it. I'm going to hand the camera off to my substitute camera guy. Just stay right there. You're doing great. And we're going to go over the drops. How many of you use the drops to test your pool? You have this little guy here or something that looks very similar. This is to test your free chlorine and your pH. You're drooping down a little bit, camera guy. There we go, right there. Don't move. Okay. So Jackie uses the drops. All right, great. So this is for your drops. This one came in a little bit more extensive kit than just the pH and the chlorine. You can also test your alkalinity with this one and your calcium. We're not going to do that today because most of you only do the chlorine and the pH. So we're going to use the Phenol Red This is to test your pH, also known as phenol. It's the little red drops. And the yellow drops are, I can never remember how to pronounce this, orthotalidine or OTO drops. These are the yellow ones. Okay, and that measures your chlorine. Put this down here. So anytime you are testing your water, you want to make sure that you pay attention to where it says to fill. The fill lines are very important because then you are actually putting in the amount that you need to for the drops to give you a sort of a accurate reading, although the drops and the strips that you use at home are never going to be as accurate as the computer system that we have in our Valley Pool and Spa stores that do the computerized readings. So just remember that whenever you do get a different reading at home than you may get in the store, it is a lot more accurate in the store. So anytime you are taking a water sample from your pool, and I totally forgot my cup. Okay, I need a cup. Solo cup's fine. Okay, so anytime you're, see guys, we're live here. This is what happens when you're live. Anytime you take a water sample from your pool, you want to make sure you do it in a different container than what your water sample is being measured on. So when you go to take a test, you always want to go elbow deep into the water. So you want to take your thing, or cup, which I'm getting soon, and go elbow deep in the water and pull that out. Also, you want to make sure that you are away from your skimmer and your return. You do not want to be close to your skimmer and your return because that's where the pool water gets mixed up the most. You want to take a clean cup. You can use a measuring cup. I'm using a clean Solo cup. That's perfect. Thank you. And we're just going to dip down elbow deep. We don't really need that much. And we're going to fill up our little canisters here. Make sure you can see that. Well, like I said, it's very important to fill to the fill line. So you can see we're pretty spot on this one. I'm going to go ahead and do our pH first. That's your red one. And we're going to put in 4 drops, which mine is kind of goopy here. You don't want to get the extra drops in because you want to make sure there's 4 drops. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Put a cap on that. These ones come with little caps, so that's good. I have to fill this one up to this line here, and I'm a little over full, so we're going to dump some of that out. There we go. And we're going to take our yellow drops. This is going to measure our chlorine. These are our OTO drops. Again, we wanted to put 4 drops in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's put the cap on. Now you want to make sure that you pay attention. You can back up a little bit. You want to make sure that you pay attention to the instructions in your kit because some testing kits like this might be a little bit different, but we just want to invert this. Mine calls for 3 times. You don't want to shake it, you just want to invert it. Okay, and you can see here my pH is reading around about a 7/8 because you want to match the color in this vial to the color over here. So you have about a 7/8, and you know what, let me grab a white piece of paper so you guys can see behind there. So pH 7/8, my chlorine is in the high range. We're looking at about a 5.0 for my chlorine, maybe a little bit higher. And that's because I just shocked my pool yesterday and I just replaced the tabs. we had some friends in from out of town, and they used our pool today with their kids, so I wanted to make sure that we had enough shock and everything in the pool and make sure that everything would be safe for them to swim in. So that is how we read the drops. Does anyone have any questions about the drops? Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. The key is filling to the line you're supposed to, putting the correct amount of drops in, and comparing the colors. If you don't know what the colors are, go ahead and put that white piece of paper behind it. It helps a ton. All right, let's put that to the side. Next, a lot of you have these strips. We carry them in the store. These are the 4-in-1 strips. What does it mean if it doesn't turn yellow at all? Jackie, that is a very good question. If this doesn't turn yellow at all, that means you do not have any chlorine in the pool. You need to double your dose of shock. Probably get your water tested at the pool store. Make sure there's no other underlying issues going on. But yeah, if this doesn't turn yellow at all, that means you don't have any chlorine, active chlorine in the pool. Thanks, Missy. Missy answered it for you too. So these are the 4-in-1 strips. On the back, you can see these show the pH, the free chlorine, total alkalinity, and your stabilizer, which is also known as CYA. CYA is cyanuric acid, which is your sunblock. If any of you use Caribbean Blue chemicals, you will notice that the stabilizer is called sunblock because CYA actually acts as sunblock for your swimming pool. It protects your water from the UV rays and all of the UV rays pulling all of your chlorine out of the pool. Stabilizer is very important to have in the pool. However, you don't want to overdose because there are very few ways to get the stabilizer out of the pool. Your stabilizer will only go down if you're adding a lot of fresh water to the swimming pool, or if you have a chlorine issue. So if you're reading no chlorine and no stabilizer, but you have put stabilizer in the past, you could be running into an issue called chlorine demand. Has anyone run into chlorine demand in the past? That's when you have to put doses of shock into the pool to unlock it. It's like a chlorine lock. It's a pain in the butt, but the only way to get rid of it is to either take care of your phosphates and then shock, or put a whole bunch of shock in the pool. So before you add stabilizer, always get your water professionally tested to make sure that you're not going to add too much in. All right, so these are the 4. I recommend either using the 4 or the 7, but you want to make sure that you have this free chlorine. I think it's the second one. Free chlorine. We're going to go by that and not the total chlorine. It's always nice when you have both. My personal favorite test strips are, these are the ones I use. I already had them open and everything. This shows 7 different things. Just because I'm a pool nerd, we all know it. I like to know what's going on in my pool, but it's very rare that I even use these because I just take my water to the pool store that I go to every day and just test it in the computerized system. Sorry guys, my husband's holding this and he can't see what I'm seeing, so I keep moving the selfie stick as he's holding it. You're doing a great job. All right guys, so these are 7 in 1. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to remind you again. Let's move some of my stuff over. You want to go elbow deep into the water, away from the pool skimmer and return. And you're going to dip your strip into the cup. Here's another tip. You want to make sure that other one was hard to read. You want to make sure that you check your expiration date on your strips. Test strips should not be left outside in the heat. They should not be left in your shed. You need to keep these in a temperature sensitive area. And yeah, don't keep them outside in like your pool deck box or anything like that because it will ruin the accuracy of the strips. So make sure, keep it in the house somewhere. I'm gonna take out strip. You wanna try to get the strips out as quickly as possible and put the lid back on, because you don't want any of the outside air or anything like that to get in and ruin your strips. Plus, if they all get wet, then you need new strips. Okay. According to the directions, we're just going to dip for 15 seconds. Dip it in there. We're gonna wait 15 seconds, is what it says. Before we read this, this is very important. Pay attention to the instructions on your test strips. They're there for a reason. My husband's going rogue here. All right, stay right there. Okay, it's been about 15 seconds and we're gonna read. The first one at the top is total hardness. Now this color, purple, is going to match right in the 250 area. If you look at the bottom of each color wheel here, 250, between 250 to 500 is saying it's okay. I normally like to keep the calcium in my pool on a little bit on the higher end, especially when you're closing. When you're closing the pool, you want to make sure that your calcium levels are higher, because your water becomes active during the winter time, and if it becomes active, it's going to eat up calcium. If there's no calcium for it to eat, then it's going to attack anything that it can get calcium from, like liners and anything like that. Bugs are biting me, guys. Okay, so my calcium right now is between a 250 and a 500, so we're good there. My total chlorine, now you guys can see the accuracy on this. The drops actually said that my chlorine was really, really high. My total chlorine is reading at about a 3. And my free chlorine is reading between a 1 and a 3. So I may have combined chlorine, which is not a big deal. What that means is you just need to shock the pool. Total chlorine, this is a knowledge bomb for you guys. Total chlorine is how much is physically in the pool. Free chlorine is how much is active in the pool. When these two numbers are not the same, that means that we need to fix that issue to make sure you have as much, guys, I swear he's not drunk and not sleeping, but you have to make sure that you have as much free chlorine as you do total. That way your pool is working properly, or sanitized properly. Sorry about that. Okay, pH. We have our pH level. My pH seems to be pretty high. It's around a 7.8, between a 7.2, 7.8. I think we're okay there. We are definitely okay. The perfect level of pH is a 7.4, because that is what you, that is neutral. That is the same pH as the tears in your eyes. So that's the most comfortable to be in the pool. Whenever your pH is in the high range, that's when you're going to notice your water getting cloudy. You're also going to notice when your water is in the low pH range that it's going to cause itchy skin, burning eyes, things like that. So that is a big one to pay attention to. Total alkalinity, we're right in range there, between about a 120, which is really good. Guys, total alkalinity is your buffer for pH. When your total alkalinity is off, your pH is going to fluctuate back and forth. You don't want that to happen. Come over here. Too far. Like I said, guys, we have a fill-in camera person today. He's doing his best. Okay, so when you have your total alkalinity balanced, your pH should stay right in the area it should be. All right, now here's our last one, and we took too long to read it, but it is our cyanuric acid, or our CYA. I don't know if this is backwards for you guys, so I apologize if it is, but this bottom one here is the stabilizer in the pool. This is what is keeping your chlorine in the pool. Mine is a little wonky, so I'll probably test it again, but it should be between a 30 to 50. We'll even let it slide around 100. When you're up in this range here, this is 150 to 300, that's really high. This kind of thing can cause sluggish water, which means that your chlorine's not effectively sanitizing your pool. It's gonna maybe be cloudy. You might even get algae at that point. This is something that we need to make sure is taken care of. My pH was high and I got it down, but I think I have mustard algae. Bobby, mustard algae normally looks like sawdust. You could also check your chlorine, because you may also have a combined chlorine issue. When in doubt, like I said, bring your water test into Valley and we can test it for you on our computer and make sure that everything is good. If you've never had your water tested at Valley, it is so easy, you guys. This is our third testing that you can do. All you have to do is get a water bottle. If you don't have one of these water bottles, go ahead and fill up an Aquafina bottle, you know, Dasani, all your little fancy water bottle names, Aldi's brand, you know. You're gonna take your water bottle, make sure it's clean. Do not bring us in pickle jars or salsa jars. Even though you ran it through your dishwasher, there is a chance that it could still have some acid in it. You'll get a false reading on your pH. If you don't have a bottle to bring in, we have had people bring in Ziploc bags full of water. I know I've said this in another pool lesson. You want to make sure you bring your water in directly from the house to the pool store. Try not to leave it in the car. The effect that the heat from the car has on the water could interfere with the accuracy of the what the balance of the water says in our computer system at work or at Valley Pools. Anyway, you're gonna take this bottle again. Say it with me now. Elbow deep into the pool. You don't even need to fill it up the whole way. You can fill it up halfway if you want. We really only need about 8 to 10 ounces of water, and you put the cap on, bring it to your nearest Valley Pool and Spa. We now have 8 locations, guys. We are from Washington to Greensburg to the North Hills to Robinson and all in between. So find your closest Valley Pool and Spa, bring your water sample in. It only takes about 5 minutes for us to run this through the machine and get you the results. In that 5 minutes, you can go ahead, look around the store. We give you a little beeper that reminds you of like a restaurant pager, and we'll just page you when your water is done. Just had it tested yesterday and the pH was the only issue. Oh, Bobby, that's awesome. So just try to, it might just be sediment in your water. If you live in this area, mustard algae is very rare. We've seen it a couple times, but it's actually very rare in the Pittsburgh area. So it may just be sediment. It may just be dead algae that hasn't bloomed yet. That could also happen. Just vacuum it up. Make sure you brush your walls real good. Brush the floors. Stop moving. If you're getting seasick, it's because my husband is being jittery. Anyway, if you are... Sorry guys, I can't read from far away. If you are in the area of Valley Pools and you don't even need your water tested, please bring your water in. If you're just coming in for something else, just to have it tested. We don't care. You buy your chemicals from us. It's always free. I did want to show you a couple other test kits that we do carry. This one, I feel like I'm reaching. This one is a digital test kit. This comes with its own strips in the back. You just dip the strips like we showed you before, and you put it in this little vessel here, and it's going to give you a digital readout. So these here are pretty accurate, although the one in the store is more accurate. But there are also different items that you can get. Hopefully we'll be carrying them soon, that you can put in the water and it reads it on your app. You can download an app and it will give you the digital readout of all of your balancing chemicals. So today, what we have learned is pH is very important. If you have low pH, that's when your kids and everyone's gonna get itchy eyes, dry skin, sometimes rashes. Low pH is not good. When your pH is very low, it can also start causing wrinkles in the liner. That's when it takes out the plasticides of the liner and you can get wrinkles on the floor or on the walls of the liner. Here comes the motorcycle. The next thing is your alkalinity. We learned that your alkalinity is a buffer for your pH. So if your alkalinity is off, I'm just going to take this here. Rotate your phone. You cannot rotate. Okay. Facebook did not like that. When your alkalinity is off, you want to make sure you take care of that first before you take care of the pH. Oh, I just found out my husband was moving because he's getting bit in the ankles by bugs. Of course, bugs around our pool. Didn't he just watch my pool lesson last week? My last pool lesson was keeping critters away from your pool. If you need to see that lesson, you can go ahead and watch it on our YouTube channel. All right, guys, another thing that when you come to Valley Pools, and if you haven't done this already, we give you a personalized maintenance calendar. This is waterproof. I have it here on my little handy dandy clipboard just to make sure that everyone at this house follows the step-by-step 1 through 4 on how to put the chemicals in weekly if I'm not around. So that is also an awesome thing to have. And don't forget that we also have swimming pool closing tip sheets. So I know we don't even want to talk about that yet, but the closing season is just around the corner. So if you want to get a head start, make sure that you have all of your chemicals and equipment and everything. Our stores in the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to start putting out the closing stuff. So you can ask for a closing tip sheet and we can print them out for you and give you that to take home so you can double check everything that you have for the pool. Okay, so we got the dip. We got the drops, not the dip. The strips. We have the 4-in-1s. We have the 7-in-1s. We sell all of these at Valley Pool and Spa. We also have, for you salt lovers out there, we have strips that you can test your salt level. If you do not believe your salt generator, or it's one of the Intex pools that also have salt, you can test your salt level with salt strips. And these come with chlorine and salt. These are not going to test your pH and your alkalinity, so you're going to want to get these along with one of the other ones I just showed you. We also have the digital test reader, and my favorite, and it should be your favorite too, just take your water to Valley Pool and Spa. We'll get it tested for you and give you a recipe for how to take care of your pool water. All right, guys, I think that's my time. I want to thank you all very, very much for watching this whole entire pool lesson. Even though we were down a guy and I have to hold the camera myself. So a big shout out to my husband. He wanted me to show you guys that he's actually here. Big shout out to my husband for being a trooper and helping me through this. If you have any questions, as always, be sure to ask me in the comments, or you can message me and I will do my best to help you out. And you can also visit any of our Valley Pool and Spa stores. We're open 7 days a week, 10 to 7 during the week, 10 to 5 during the weekend. And everyone in our stores is very knowledgeable. They can help you out. If they don't know the answer, we have many of us pool nerds that will find out the answer for you. All right. Oh, Dennis is on here. Dennis, I hope you were watching this whole lesson. This one was for you. And Patty. And Dana. Because you guys are rock stars. Okay. I want to thank you all. Don't forget, bring your water sample to Valley Pool and Spa. Don't forget to get to the store last 3 days of the sale. Sale ends on July 31st. Get your raffle tickets in so you can win some awesome prizes. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me this Wednesday. We'll see you next Wednesday for another pool lesson. If you want to learn something, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Thanks. Bye, guys.